Alright everyone, once again, new week, new Odyssey. What have we got? Really? Quincy again? I don't know. It feels like there's a bit of favoritism going on here with Quincy. Okay. The Four Horsemen and Quincy. Leave it to Quincy to butt in when there's balloon popping to be done. Okay, alright. It's by Ninja Kiwi, so we can assume it's relatively chill. Oh, interesting. You get to choose what your Four Horsemen are. Okay. Easy. That's going to be annoying, but still easy. Encrypted hard standard 10 to 80. 2,000 to start with. That's going to be nice. Half cash. That means we start with 500 on 4 circles. God damn. Okay, okay. But yeah, this is looking real chill so far. I am loving this. Interesting. Okay, okay. Oh, wow. No, never mind. I was going to say. Usually... Wow, even that's generous. Like, they're giving us way too much credit. You could totally lower that for Adora's Temple. And you could definitely lower this for Muddy Puddle's Hard Standard. But, once again, I really appreciate this. Because Ninja Kiwi know that Odysseys are for everyone. They're rated E for everyone. And so everyone should be able to do them. And Muddy Puddles being an expert map, you gotta be a bit more lenient. So I love that. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Seems like a very quick and easy Odyssey to fly through this week, which I am never disappointed by. I love myself a quick and easy Odyssey. Right. I do agree that wizards are probably one of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. What am I feeling? It's not a... Oh, there is a decent chunk of water outside of map 1. Actually, even map 1. It's top left. It was hiding from me. Okay, so there's a good chunk of water on each map, so maybe a boat is another Horseman of the Apocalypse. I feel like it's only right for me to choose one from each category. And since all of those have some way, shape, or form to be able to pop every type of balloon, I'm not going to choose the village. I'm going to go with the Spactory. Alright, bring it. Let's crush this. The Four Horsemen and Quincy. I wonder if NK had 4 towers in mind when they called it the Four Horsemen. You know? Did they actually have 4 towers in mind to be sort of the Four Horsemen? Or were they just being like, people can just choose their 4 favorites, and then that will be the Four Horsemen? You know? Is it sort of a make-it-up-as-you-go thing, or did they legitimately have something in mind? Oh yeah, auto starts off because la-di-da, some garbage related to boss events. Apparently you need to take those slow, and you shouldn't have auto start on or something. I don't know. I don't do boss events enough to realize these things, or know how beneficial it is to, you know, practice without autoplay on, but it's just too slow for me. Then again, typically I do the nicer, more chill and relaxed game modes rather than farm till your hands bleed from all the micromanaging you're doing. But yes, this should be fine. What do I want next? Probably a wizard. I didn't actually check. Oh, okay, yeah, no. It would have shown up if something was restricted. I was just about to say, I didn't really pay much attention if there was any restrictions or not. But no, no restrictions, which means we can do whatever the hell we want. If that means going for a necromancer, that means going for a necromancer. If that means just leaving it as a 0-1-0 wizard, then sure. Why not? Why not? But yeah, I just got home from work, which was pretty good, all things considered. Although at the end of the day, like, right, this is how work usually goes for me. You work for a bit, you have a lunch, right? 30-minute lunch, you clock out, you have your lunch, you clock back in, you go back to work. Then, if it's a particularly long day, you will also have another break, just a 15-minute break though. You don't have to clock out, so you can have that break and enjoy the fact that you're getting paid for it. And then you go back in after 15 minutes, just to sort of shake things off, get all the moving parts relaxed for a bit. Whoa! Thank you, Quincy. See, Quincy never misses. We all know this by now. But yeah, so we have our nice little small 15-minute break if it's a long enough day to warrant a second break. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you just need a single lunch and then you're just sorted for the whole day. You can smash out the rest of the work and get everything done and go home. But no, today we also had a break as well. So that was good. And if it's a particularly long day, you get another break. Not another lunch. You never get another lunch. It's always just one lunch, multiple breaks. So, today, we're going a little bit slow around the middle of the day. I'm not going to name names on whose fault it was, but essentially I was sort of the solution to that problem, where I swapped places with someone, and then we started picking up speed a bit more, right? So, once we had picked up enough speed and finished the day off, then, because I'm technically a senior, in terms of rank, not because I'm old, but because I'm like a senior, I've got like after production work to do, so I can't just go home when everyone else goes home. I pretty much have to hang around and do some other stuff. So typically the warehouse is pretty empty. You know, it's just usually me and maybe one other person, and then that's it. And so I just did my usual thing. I got to work, started prepping for tomorrow's stuff, and naturally, you know, I'm a pretty efficient worker. I started doing a pretty good job. I pulled in like 3 or 4 pallets. Maybe it was 3. Yeah, 3 pallets worth of the stock that we needed for tomorrow. I loaded up 2 lots of that. 2 pallets worth. And then by the time I was getting around to the 3rd one of my mates comes through the door and he's just like, "Hey, have you had your break?" I was like, "No, usually people tell me when I'm meant to go on break. Why would I have my break? Am I meant to have a break?" And he was like, "Yeah, I messaged you like 30 minutes ago to have a break." Which is not really all that good, because technically by law they're meant to give me breaks. Like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't going to make a big deal of it, but, you know, it doesn't look good on them if it looks like I've just been told, "Nope, screw you, you're working forever. You don't get a break, we're abusing you." So yeah, he was just like, "What the hell, man? You were meant to go on break like half an hour ago." And I was like, I don't know. And then I was just like, "Right, well, tomorrow's stuff is halfway done, sort of thing. I'm gonna go on break then." And then he was like, "Well, at this point, if it's halfway finished, you know, him and one of my other mates were still gonna be working because they had just come off of break." And they were just like, "Well, if it's halfway done, we can finish it off if you just want to head off then." And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah, I'll just go home. Sweet." So yeah, because I had no clue when I was meant to take my breaks, I still don't have a clue when I'm meant to take my breaks. I'm sure it's a specific time, but obviously that time changes every day. I think there's like a set amount of hours where it's like if you work X amount of hours and you know there's X amount of hours left in the day. No, that's terrible. That's terrible algebra, because it's not always the same number. If you've worked X amount of hours and you know there's more than Y amount of hours left to the workday, like if you predict it'll take Y amount of hours longer, then you'll go for either a lunch or a break. If it's going to be a really quick day, you'll just go for a break. But most of the times it's just a lunch. And then after that, there will be a set amount of hours before you're meant to have a break, and then another break, and then another break, and then another break. I still don't know what that set amount of hours is, and I probably should know considering I'm a senior. But yeah, day went pretty smoothly overall. I don't recall there being any major problems, although I do feel like at one point in time, I may have potentially been going too fast. Because they put me at the start of the line, which is essentially the box making process. Because obviously that was the part that was going pretty slowly from before, so that's where they put me to speed it up, because I used to do box making a hell of a lot, and it was a great time. And so they just put me there because they knew I was quick. So I sped up the line a lot, but the actual machine itself, like usually if you're making a box, put a sticker on it, you make the box, you scan the box to let the computer know, hey, this box is ready to go, and I'm pushing it down the line for everyone else to scan the box and do the thing, right? This is very descriptive, I know. So yeah, scan the box, put it on the line. Usually a number on the computer will go down by 1, because it's like, oh, you've got this many boxes left to scan. Beep! You've got this many -1 now, you know? So it tries to keep up and fill you in so you've got a good idea of how many more you need to scan, or if you forgot to scan one, it'll be like, hey, there's still 1 left to scan, and you're looking around like, no there isn't, because you forgot to scan it, but you did put it on the line. Anyway, today, I don't know what was wrong with the computer. I don't know what was going on, but every time it would be like, scan, on the line, make the box, scan, put it on the line, make the box, scan, put it on the line. I'd scan like 4 or 5 different boxes, the number wouldn't go down. It just stayed there. And then like 5 minutes later, it would be like, oh yeah, I remember you doing these. And it drops by like 5 or 6. And I was like, okay, that's not usually what's meant to happen, but cool. Okay, so long as it's still dropping, I guess it doesn't matter when, as long as it does. And then lo and behold, like 5 minutes later, the computer was just like, I can't handle this anymore. I'm gonna not function. And so it just kind of gave up on me, and I had to phone a friend. Because I didn't know what I was doing anymore. I was like, I went too fast, and now it's broken, and now I'm not working at all. So, yeah. Luckily, the old close it and open it again worked like a charm. What can I say? We're all mechanical and engineering geniuses over there. But yeah, overall, not a bad day. Not a bad day at all. But I was actually really proud today. Because I don't know, I don't think I've mentioned this before on YouTube or stream. I think I just told my mate like the other day when we went out for food. But there's this one particular person at my workplace. And let's just say there's a very, very simple thing that we all have to do at the end of the day. There will be 3 pallets left out, and essentially the very simple thing that we have to do is label the 3 pallets. Sometimes we don't even have to do that. Sometimes people just know because they've, worked there for more than a day. But we will label the pallets and be like, hey, if you've got fresh items, like produce, put them on this pallet. If you've got chiller items, things that need to be in a cold room, put them on this pallet. And if you've got anything that's dry and can be in room temperature, put them on this other pallet. That's it. That's all that's required for most people at the end of the day. There is this one particular person that we have told countless times where to put what at the end of the day. 3 pallets, dead smack in the middle of the room. Can't miss them. There are other pallets in the room, admittedly, but they are very far away from those 3. Right? There's like a good 4 or 5 meters gap between those particular 3, and they're like clustered and huddled together. Right? So it's pretty hard to miss those main 3. One particular person, just every single day, goes to put it on a different pallet. They'll walk 5 or 6 meters away from the pallets they're meant to be putting them on, just to put them somewhere else. There's no labels on those pallets. It's not like they're seeing a label and being like, aha, I found the magical pallet at the end of the day that always moves all over the production room. No, it stays in the same spot, funnily enough, because it's always in the same spot. And we keep telling them this, you know, we go up to them and just be like, hey, see those 3 in the middle of the room? Funnily enough, see how everyone else is putting them on there? Yeah, that's kind of where we put stuff. That's kind of where things, you know, go. But this is a redemption story. I meant to say that. For multiple weeks, this has gone on. But today, they put them on the right pallets. And I was so pleased. I was like, I'm so glad you can take in information, process it, and apply it to future situations that are exactly the same. It is beautiful to see someone listen to what you say, take it into account, and then do it. You know? You kind of take it for granted a lot of the time. Oh my god, I just realized Quincy actually reaches back to grab more arrows. I didn't realize that. I guess every time I see him, usually he's facing like up and away sort of thing. But he does actually reach back with his other hand to take arrows. Anyway, I've been playing this game for a long time and I just didn't realize that was a thing. Thank you, Quincy. I was getting a little scared. But yeah, I saw progress today. I saw development, and I was very proud of that. Although in saying that, technically they put them in the right area, on the right things. But you know, there's a certain limit to how high things can be stacked, and they stacked it 1 higher than it should have been, which I'm not going to make a fuss about, because I don't want to overload them with, hey, you got the right pallet, but you still did the wrong thing somehow, you know? I want them to revel in their victory. So I'll pick them up on that another time if it happens again. But still, they did a good-ass job. Right, what do I want to deal with this Moab? How do I want to deal with this Moab, I should say? I'm thinking my boat. Grape shot, hot shot, faster shooting, maybe even a destroyer. Change it up from the usual pirate ship, maybe? Yeah, why not? Why not? This is the best part about Odysseys that are more relaxed and chill. You can just sort of make things up as you go, you know? Nothing has to be structured, or you don't have to have a specific strategy. There's no one solution is best and only one, you know? Like, a lot of custom challenges these days are typically like, find this one really stupidly crazy, unique micro management single tower solution. Oh my god, I didn't realize this had camo, but it does. You know, it's always geared towards a very specific outcome. Now, I can see why people are attracted to that, because it's like, ooh, there's only one way to beat this, and you gotta figure it out. And you know, you gotta find out what I was thinking and what I did at the time. But like, at the same time, I'm like, man, isn't it cool just to have multiple solutions and see how creative people can get with them? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say make every Odyssey and every challenge piss easy so that we can see a variety of outcomes and things like that, but it'd just be a little more interesting if there were multiple ways to do certain challenges in my mind. Okay, that destroyer should keep us pretty preoccupied for a bit. I think I'm gonna go for a similar thing here, where I go for maybe a wizard, not a wizard lord phoenix. What's the one before that? Not Dragon's Breath, the one after it. Summon Phoenix. I think I'm gonna go for a Summon Phoenix and have this destroyer help us out. Because that way we've got an ability if things get hairy, aka round 63. And we've got the Destroyer to carry us until we can afford it, because half cash is a pain. Ooh, Quincy, you got this? Hey, just making sure. Just making sure. And then worst case scenario, we can throw down a Spectre right at the back. Maybe like a spiked balls, spiked mines sort of thing. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. There we go. Purples will absolutely screw us over, so I'm gonna get these guys. Just to camo detection level. Just so they can throw a couple of extra darts so Quincy's not the only one. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I'm doing. So they can tag team the purples so that our fiery, damage blasting grapes and fireworks from hell can destroy everything else. And you know, it's funny, right? Because I've been saying for ages that without monkey knowledge, the hardest game mode in this game is half cash. Which is absolutely true. Because usually you'd be going around 80. And having to actually like grind to farm super heavily is a pain in the ass. But it's hilarious how many people actively hate half cash. Like, I never realized until I jumped on the BTD6 subreddit, but a lot of people really hate half cash. They think it's an awful game mode and genuinely want it gone from the game. And I'm like, whoa, that's a little far-fetched. I could understand if people were hating on chimps, but half cash, really? All it does is cut your cash in half, and if you hate it that much, just pay the money to get double cash mode, and then boom, it's just hard standard. You know, there's like, what more do you want? I don't know, it just seems weird. People really hate on half cash, but it's good, I think. It's good practice. Because it means you gotta find the efficient towers that can last you, or keep you going for a really long time. You can't just rely on the same old strategies of hard standard where you can literally just place like any tower, upgrade it to any tier, and it would probably work. You know? I find it quite nice. A little more brain intense. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense, but it does make you think a little harder, but overall, I think it's good. I think it's good for BTD6 as a whole. I'm gonna get an aircraft carrier. I'm feeling it. Didn't think I would at first, but now I'm thinking it'll be good. I'm also very tempted to see if we can beat round 63 without using a single ability. I don't think it'll happen, but who knows? Maybe a Dragon's Breath and a Destroyer, or aircraft carrier I should say, is enough on its own, without a Summon Phoenix or Quincy's ability. Let's have a look. We'll take it slow, just so that we can jump on it if we need to, but I think we'll be fine. Ooh, it did get a little rough there, but damn, very nice, very nice. Yeah, I think it's because they get really close to the Destroyer, and it just turns into like a attack zone when it's that close. And boom. Wow. I genuinely got that ability because I was like, it'll save me on 63 if it's a pain. But genuinely didn't need it. And now we've won. So cool. Could you imagine if we really needed it right now? That would be amazing. But we shouldn't. And it's back again anyway. And GG. Wow. That might be one of the quickest part ones I've ever done. Actually, no, that's not true. The quickest one I've ever done was the one where there was literally 5 singular rounds, and you just had to pick which 5th tier would best suit which map, and make sure that you had camo and lead popping power for like the last one or something. Anyway, that has been the 4 Horsemen and Quincy part 1. thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Part 2 will be coming out tomorrow, as always. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Have a great week, everybody.